Episode 156, Making Things Up. Stephen Wrong struggled hard, but the bodyguards behind him overpowered him easily. Gritting his teeth, he cursed.
"You are shameless, Jake Robinson!"
Lila Cox quickly picked up. Jake put the call on speaker, gave the bodyguards a gesture, who then muffled Stephen, not allowing him to make any sound. "Hello?" Lila's voice sounded surprised and anxious. She checked the time, and it was past 3 a.m. Why did he call her at this hour? "Jake? Is it you?"
"It's me."
Leaning against the sofa, Jake watched Stephen, who was struggling harder and harder, and asked slowly,
"Did my mother tell you?"
Lila's heart thumped. Did he find out about something? Scared, she asked carefully, "What did Auntie Nola say to you?"
"I'm injured. I was stabbed by Stephen Wrong when I hit him."
This was the first time Lila had heard about it. Startled, she immediately asked, "Are you okay? Where's the injury? Is it serious?" The series of questions sounded very concerned. However, her focus was on Jake being stabbed, rather than Stephen being hit. Clearly noticing the difference, Stephen felt very upset, wanting to warn her not to fall for his trap. However, the bodyguards held him down, not letting him do anything. Jake changed the position, appreciating the look on Stephen's face, and replied,
"It is pretty serious. My artery was hurt."
That was the truth, but it was not really Jake's style to say it out loud. The hunter knew that well, feeling sad for both Lila and Stephen. Although he did not know what the boss was up to, he knew for certain that it would not be anything kind. Without a doubt, Lila said hurriedly, "What do we do now? Where are you?"
"Barton Hills, house 2097.
"Okay, I'll call you an ambulance right away."
"There is no need. I have had the wound dressed already. Just come here alone,"
Jake said. Lila was dazed. "Me?"
"Yes. I want to see you."
Her heart immediately began to race, and she said incredulously, "Do you want me to come, Jake?"
"If it's not convenient..."
"It is!" Lila said hurriedly, but then realized she was too eager. A little shy, she whispered, "I'll be right there. Wait for me, Jake." Hanging up, Jake looked at Stephen, who had quieted down.
"She's about to be here. How do you think she will choose?"
The bodyguard removed his hand from Stephen's mouth, and then he immediately screamed.
"What the hell do you want?"
Why did he trick Lila Cox to come here? To brag about her commitment in loving him? Or was Jake trying to show off his charm and tell Stephen that the woman he loved was into him? What was his plan? Thinking of Lila's surprised and joyful tone, Stephen's heart ached. She was never like that with him. Jake smiled, his eyes dark and deep.
"You will know that in a second."
Seeing that dreadful look, Stephen couldn't help feeling like he was in danger. This man was even more intimidating than what he had thought. He had a bad feeling. But no matter how hard he tried, he had no idea what Jake was up to. What did he want? When Lila arrived, it was 4 a.m. She immediately heard Stephen screaming as she entered the house. Shocked, Lila walked inside and saw Stephen surrounded by a dozen bodyguards, kneeling on the floor, wearing nothing waist down. Quickly looking away, Lila gazed at Jake. Seeing the blood on Jake's hand, she asked nervously, "Jake, are you okay?"
Jake did not answer back, but said, "Get Miss Cox some water."
The hunter went to find a bottled water and placed it in front of her.
"We only have this."
A bit upset about this perfunctory attitude, Lila complained to Jake with her eyes, hoping to get justice from him. However, Jake ignored her and said,
"Stephen Wrong here has confessed everything."
Hearing that, Lila was stunned, and so was Stephen. Confessed? What did he confess? Feeling anxious, she avoided eye contact. What does that mean?
Young Master Wrong said that your baby is not mine. He changed the DNA test results himself and hacked into the internal records of the genetics department. That was why the test report only showed the number of 72.31%.
Lila's expression changed as she gazed at Stephen. Stephen's expression too changed. He had no idea that Jake called Lila over for this. He was just making things up.
"You..."
Before he said anything, the bodyguards muffled Stephen again. He could not set himself free no matter how much he struggled.
"He also said that in fact, your baby's father is a foreigner, which was clearly shown in the video that Stephen had hacked. And your plan next is to find a chance to bump into my wife and frame her for your baby's abortion."
Nonsense! Turning pale, Lila stood up abruptly. Why would I ever do something like that? Jake, I really love you. This baby is really yours. Also, I am good friends with Serena. Even if we are not on the best terms now, I would never do something like that. Lila looked aggrieved. There was no response from him. We grew up together, Jake. Don't you know me? How could I ever do anything like that to you? She did not know how much she had heard of the conversation between Stephen and her in the afternoon. However, judging from Jake's attitude now, she believed he had not heard much. Decisively, Lila denied everything. Even if you don't believe me, you should believe Auntie. She was there when I did the DNA test. No matter what, you should trust your mother, right?
He hacked the surveillance camera and data, so it doesn't matter what you say.
Lila gritted her teeth and said to Stephen, Why did you set me up? I know how you feel about me, but you cannot hurt me like this. Do you know how much this means to a woman? Stephen struggled less and less, staring at her. Stephen Wrong, I have had enough.
So, the things he did had nothing to do with you?
Jake asked softly. No!
But he says he works together with you.
Nonsense! Lila denied it and said hurriedly, Look, Jake, I'm not that kind of person.
Great.
Looking at her coldly, Jake said in a small voice,
I said that if everything he told was true, I was going to let him go. If he lied to me, I will reward my men with his body.
Then he added,
All these bodyguards like men, and they are especially interested in Stephen Wrong.
Listening to this, Lila's pupils dilated as she was shocked to see the strong bodyguards behind Stephen. In other words, what would happen to Stephen was her decision. If everything was true, then Stephen got to live. If not, then... With a complex look on his face, Stephen looked at Lila and begged,
Please, Lila, tell him the truth. I cannot. I don't want to die. Save me! Let me ask you one last time. Did he tell me the truth? Or not?
Jake said out loud.